Hi and welcome. We're going to take a look at a minuet by, well, it's from that book that Leopold Mozart, put together for his daughter to learn. This particular piece, this minuet, we think it's probably by Mozart, the famous Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus. I don't actually know how we know that. If it's in a book in Mozart's dad's handwriting, how do we know that? How do we think it might be by the younger Mozart? If you're a musicologist and you know the answer to that one, please let us know. It's relatively immaterial, but it is quite nice to know that it belonged to the Mozart and it was created in the Mozart household. Minuet in C, K.6, attributed to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. A minuet is always in 3/4 time. And I reckon the rhythm of those first 2 bars is the nugget of this piece. Let's just make sure we can do the rhythm of that. I'm going to clap it and count the beats aloud. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If it's helpful to put the ands in as well. 1, 2, 3, and 1 and 2, 3. And that is really useful because it's the same rhythm as bars 3 and 4. It's the same rhythm as bars 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. It keeps cropping up and he's playing with it. Can we just stay with the first 4 bars now? Let's play it through on the piano. Right hand on its own. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I want to have a bit of a lean on that wrong note, the note that clashes, that makes our eyebrows rise. Let's try it again. 1, 2. So it gradually moves up, doesn't it? A word on the harmony a moment. The left hand seems to start off in a C major chord position and it's got rest. Rest. Then it moves to that position. There's a D in the right hand. It's a G chord. It's chord 5 in C major. It's the dominant chord. And he stays on that chord for another bar, chord 5, the chord of G. And then he goes back to the chord of 1. So we have a chord sequence, chord 1, chord 5, chord 5, chord 1. In C major, that's chord C, G, G, C. Let me just play Mozart's tune over the top. It's a very useful chord sequence to know about. I wonder if we could make up our own little tune with it. So have a bit of a play with that chord sequence. Let's jump back into our minuet. Let's go from bar 5. The edition, the ABRSM edition, suggests a finger swap there. That could work really well. 1, 2, 3. There's a few things in there. That little note, or whenever we see little notes, they are collectively called grace notes. That's a term that encompasses lots of things. That specific one sounds to me like a sigh. Da, da. A little bit like at the start. That's also a sigh, but notated differently. And these sighs, they have a name. We call them an appoggiatura. An appoggiatura. And we might have played it. Or the suggestion is here is make it last even longer. I think that sounds wonderful. And the rhythm of that section, should we just think it through one more time? We're nice and loud, in contrast to the beginning. 1, 2, 3. I'm really heading down that scale towards the F sharp to then pull back. Let's listen to the whole of the first section. 1, 2, 3. And meanwhile, the left hand is doing an accompaniment part. Let me play it through for you. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1. Rest. Rest. The first two notes are slurred, aren't they? Think of them as being played on the same bow stroke if you were playing a string instrument. Da-dum. So completely linked up. But at other times in this left hand, like that, those two notes at the end, I think if they were being played on a cello, boom, boom, it would be separate bows. So the notes would be ever so slightly separated. It wouldn't be silky smooth legato, would it? 1, 2, 3, rest. 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 These are separate bows, I think. Or if you're a wind instrument, each note there would have been tongued differently, whereas would have been all one, slur, smooth. I'm not a string player or a wind player, but I think we get the idea. And that analogy is quite useful, I think. Let me put them both together for that first half now, and I'm still going at this sort of steady practice speed. 1, 2, 3. Did you notice how my hand tends to, it's not contrived, but it's a sense of feeling of weight on that note, and then a feeling of lightness on the last note of the phrase. The second half is incredibly similar. It's really using the same ideas, the same rhythms, even the same melodic shapes, the same accompaniment, but it somehow wraps up the piece very nicely. Let's have a look, right hand all the way through from bar 9. 1, 2, 3. I think we'll play that appoggiatura exactly as we did at the end of the first half. I think I could have made a bit more of the forte there. What did you think? Let's try the left hand. 1, 2, 3, rest. And those movements in octaves at the end there are very, very, very common. We're in C major. Work it out. Head down, looking at the geography of the keyboard, working out exactly where you are at that interval of an octave. And over time, our hand instinctively, he says, hopefully, knows what an octave feels like. Now let me finish off by playing it through. The suggested metronome mark in the ABRSM edition is about 104 beats per minute. That's not Mozart, that's just a helpful suggestion. So let me play it through at that tempo. We won't do the repeats in the exam, so I won't do them now. But if you're playing for family or friends or for your own YouTube channel, I would definitely put them in. I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Take care. Bye-bye for now.